Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Pisces in February 2020. Hi, Pisces. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. All right, man. Well, welcome to February, Pisces. And right off the bat, happy birthday to you, Pisces, that will be celebrating at the tail end of February. I hope you guys have an amazing birthday, surrounded by people who know and love you. If you've got access to cake and ice cream, have a serving for me. It's my favorite dessert of all time. Anyway, guys, January, we just wrapped that up. How was it? How was your first month into the new year? Hopefully it was good. Yeah, maybe. If it was not good, I hope your year improves, okay? Because what's the point of wishing people ill will in this world, huh? It doesn't do anything but block your own blessings. Pisces, also happy Valentine's Day if you happen to be celebrating, or if you're home alone. Bah humbug on Valentine's Day. I still wish you guys the best. I still hope that it's a day full of love and support and connection with other people. Adult Jay versus, angsty, very embittered teenage and young 20s Jay is trying to mature and wanting to, expand my understanding of what love means beyond, especially regarding Valentine's Day, beyond the romantic aspect. So if you've got great friends and family, but you're solo dolo, that still is something to be grateful and happy about in your life. So I want to wish you again a happy Valentine's Day with even your friends and family if you don't have any significant other to speak of, okay? All right, guys, I have shuffled off camera. That is your main spread there. I will shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all of the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that is when the reading begins. Timestamps in the description box if you want to jump ahead. Also in the description box is everything you need to know or in order to place an order with me. You ask a question, you pay me through PayPal, I say A-OK, and then I give you your video within the next 24 to 72 hours. But if you do have a question to kind of clarify something before you place an order, feel free to email me at the same address, or if you have just a general question about me as a reader that you're curious about, I will maybe answer you, because sometimes it's not that type of question. Anyway, so if you do have external questions outside of purchasing the reading, you can also email me at the same address, and I'll answer you as soon as I can, all right? All right, Pisces, let's get into it. I want to see Pisces outcome for February 2020. Pisces outcome for February 2020. And happy birthday also to the Pisces that are celebrating in March. I didn't want to exclude you guys, okay? Outcome for Pisces in February 2020. Please show me. Oh my God, this deck. I might have to buy this deck again. It's ridiculously sticky, my lord. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Unless there's a solution. If anybody knows how to make tarot cards or just cards in general not so sticky, if you have a home remedy, share it with me. Now, Pisces, let's flip everything that came face down for you so we can see what's going on in a more fuller picture. I don't have nails, so it's hard for me to pick up these cards now. And come on, there we go. Okay. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. My good friends, my good friends. Some of my favorite people on this earth are Pisces. But you guys already knew that, especially if you've been with me for a while. I always talk you guys up. Anyway, let's get into it. Please show me where Pisces is in February 2020. Pisces in February 2020. Please show me. Okay, is that right? One more time, please. Okay, yeah, got it. All right, Pisces. Coming into February, you come in with the King of Pentacles. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. You could be dealing with an earth sign, but it's a general reading, right? So that doesn't have to apply. If it hits for you, congratulations. But more to the point, Pisces, you're very focused on your stability and your money and your finances and your career. Everything that the Pentacles embodies, things that we value, things concerning our physical well-being, and having stable ground to walk on, whether that be literal ground outside of your home. Maybe some of you are having, repairs done to your house or whatever it is. Like, the trappings of your material safety, wellness, security, all that stuff is under this guy's purview, the King of Pentacles. I feel most of you are embodying this energy. In some of your cases, this is an external person who has some handle on or influence on, again, the material wealth or security that concerns you. So this could be a business partner, a father figure, could be a boss, whatever it is. But there's this person, this energy has emphasis on stability, security, finances, other things of value. This could be a doctor, or this could be you taking care of your health, or being very cognizant of it, being very focused on it. Some of you are sticking with your New Year's resolution and you're continuing your gym regimen. You're still on your whatever diet you're doing, or trying to eat better, trying to gain mass or lose mass, whatever you're doing. Very determined, very focused. No room for any no room for any blah blah, whatever that is, blah blah. Bullshit, sure. They're like, say bullshit. I'm like, okay, sure. But there's really no room for nonsense with this King of Pentacles. Again, I think most Pisces are embodying this energy. There are some of you that this is just someone in your energy, or excuse me, in your environment, who would be kind of exuding this. I feel for you, Pisces, this is you're very conscious of doing this. Like, this is not normally how Pisces is. Pisces normally is not materialistic or has that deep of a concern of their... Pisces loves beautiful ththings and has an eye for a particular aesthetic in terms of how they dress themselves, how they style their own home, the types of cars that you drive. But the actual value, like dollars and cents, usually don't come onto a Pisces radar initially, I'll say. Eventually, maybe. But there's just like, first and foremost, how much does it cost? Like, that's your mindset right now. How much does this cost me? How much am I gaining if I do this? How much am I losing if I do this? There's this emphasis on actual numbers, dollars and cents, or again, in the case of like, fitness, numbers on a scale going up and down, what is being added, what is being subtracted. Like, you're very focused on that. And it could be, you might be in a certain crunch, although the King of Pentacles doesn't, okay, thank you. They're like, no, not in many cases, they're saying. Not in many cases are you actually under any type of financial crisis or crunch. In some of your cases, sure. And the reason I say that is because the King of Pentacles is a master of his suit, right? So you're tapping into this high level, this high function level of the King of Pentacles, which is to forecast or be really focused on balancing the books, so to speak. Some of you could be, setting up new budgets for yourself or setting up budgets for the family. And again, if it's not you, you would be in counsel. You would be working very closely with someone who can do this for you, or has this expertise, or has their mindset on this themselves. If this isn't you, this is your spouse or your partner or your roommate. If this isn't you, this is the person that you're in business with. If this isn't you, this is your boss sitting down with you, going over your workload and what you're bringing to the table, and the things that you need to do to improve here on the job, etc., etc., etc. This King of Pentacles energy is very much about the business, okay? Of keeping things afloat and making sure that things are solid and that they're not destabilized, or that there isn't going to be any monkey wrenches that come along. This King of Pentacles tries his or her best. There's no gender here with a general, but this person tries his or her best to avoid calamity, to avoid financial and material upheavals. Yeah. So if you are in between jobs, you are hunting these jobs down, 5, 6 at a time. You're throwing your resume at anybody who will read it. If this is about transitioning jobs, you are definitely into making sure that where you're going is going to be an improvement, not not a lateral move, right? Nobody, what's the point of getting a new job or a promotion if it's just lateral? You're interested in the long game. If I change jobs, if I move to this department, if I switch and start working for this company, what am I going to get down the line? Yeah. The King of Pentacles energy does not want to lose anything. And that could be because some of you have lost a lot in your life or recently, and it's left a bitter taste in your mouth. So you are calling this guy out from the bullpen, right? Give me the King of Pentacles. Let him warm his arm up in the pitching. What do you call that? I forget what it's called. But, you know, like, if you know baseball, you kind of know what I'm talking about. The bullpen? Yeah. Call him up from the bullpen. He warms his arm up. Yeah. So it's again, it's not your normal way of being, Pisces, but you're like hardcore in this. And it feels as though you have rhyme and reason. You have particular goals, and you are more determined than possibly you've been in recent weeks or months to get something done or to achieve something or to obtain something. And it could be, in some of your cases, just a matter of a purchase. Now, I'm not trying to, again, I don't think that you're coming at this from a materialistic point of view, but it does feel as though this King of Pentacles is making big moves, making big purchases, not interested in any small fish rewards or prizes or settlements. Like, I came here to win. I came here to get what I deserve. There we go. That might be a kicker for some of you. What I deserve. Pardon me. And yeah, man, taking no prisoners. Very resolute, very staunch. Like, I mean, this guy looks so sturdy, right? He just like doesn't look like somebody who, I mean, no offense, doesn't really have much of a sense of humor, is not in the mood to play games, not in the mood to crack jokes. Like, this person is very much about the business, only, you know, only the business, yeah? So, good. I think that's good, Pisces. I feel as though, again, some of you are coming from a place of not, you know, being able to break even, not, you know, being able to accomplish what you want, coming from a place of feeling defeated or feeling very uninspired or not so optimistic about your chances and hope for the future. But something has kicked in for you that has made you a lot more, a lot sharper, a lot more keen and focused on gaining something that is important to your material world. Okay? Now, what else happens for Pisces? Please show me. You are working. What else? You're working, some of you are working for the benefit of a child or your inner child or your inner children, since I see there's 2 pages out here. But you're putting in this work to safeguard yourself and others you care about. Yeah. This isn't a fool's journey, or this isn't a fool's game, I should say. Because I mean, tarot is about fool's journey, but I feel as though this is not a fool's game because you're very serious. Which one? Show me clearly. Which one? Yeah. Right? Yes. Yes, thank you. All right, so you're very clear on this with the star right above your starting position. Major Arcana for Aquarius. You could be dealing with an Aquarius, but you don't have to be. You're very clear on this. Crystal clear. Yeah, crystal clear. Some of you might be, you know, working on vision boards, journaling, manifesting. Like, that might be how you're envisioning this. Some of you, you're just daydreaming. Or some of you are making, like I said, you know, more so with the energy of the King of Pentacles right beneath it. More likely, Pisces, you're making to-do lists. You're setting up appointments. You're, you know, clearing, again, you're balancing your checkbook. You're looking at all your bank statements. You're looking at your 401ks, all your investments, and you're really getting a handle on where's all my money going? How am I investing it? Is this really profitable for me? Is this really helping me with my long-term goals? This is, with the star right above you, I feel as though possibly some of you have been inspired to take these actions inexplicably. Like, out of nowhere, you just had the energy to do it. Whereas before, I think Pisces can kind of be a little bit, you know, no offense, a little bit like airheaded sometimes. Again, no offense. I'm not saying that's you as a person, but the energy of Pisces is a lot more carefree. The King of Pentacles is not a carefree energy, no matter how you slice it. But you, Pisces, are typically a carefree, you know, type of person. So this star is sort of like a wake-up call, or like a, you know, a splash of cold water on the face, like bringing you back to reality. Like this is like the bridge. The star is sort of like the bridge that funneled you down, or sent you down into, or introduced you to this King of Pentacles energy. Now, that could literally be, if these are outside people, this could literally be one person introduces you to someone and you make a connection, and this person might be a financial advisor for you. You might be, you know, hemorrhaging money in some type of way. You're not able to really, you know, make an impact with your savings. You might be behind in your mortgage, whatever it is. And you might have a friend who's just like, oh, I was having financial troubles myself. Or, oh, I know a guy or I know a girl who could really help you. Let me introduce you. So the star basically comes into our lives, Pisces, in order to heal what needs mending, or heal something that is not out of hand, but something that we may have ignored, or that we haven't, you know, properly paid attention to, properly given full acknowledgement to, or again, we've just ignored it. So where you have had disturbances and particular losses or setbacks, again, pertaining to things related to Pentacles, money, finances, career, health and wellness, all that stuff, you know, take your pick, whatever your situation is, where you may have, again, gone through something traumatic and, you know, lost a lot of money, or you were in the hospital and that, like, you know, racked up a bunch of medical bills, and now you're kind of in the whole 100 grand or however much it is. And whatever it is, the star swoops in a sense, swoops in and maybe not allows, but again, it inspires you or encourages you, or it lights a fire up under your butt a little bit to become more proactive, to tackle and either prevent this from happening again, or to fix what has not been mended already. Yeah. So again, if you're working a job, let's say, and you're displeased with that job, you don't make enough money, you're not able to save anything. Maybe you're working 2 part-time jobs. That's a lot of people's hustle out here in this day and age. Or you're working 1 full-time job, or practically full-time, but there's no insurance there. And in order to cover, you know, any type of cost for your insurance, maybe you're doing Uber or Lyft or whatever else on the side in order to stash that money away in case of a medical emergency. Something like that. The star wants to alleviate those stresses. As an energy, it wants to. Now, if it's a person, I mean, maybe they wish that for you too. But the star says, I don't want to have to hustle, or I don't want to have to be constantly in flux, or constantly on the go, or restless, or anything like that. The star wants us to be at ease, at peace. It wants us to have a clear state of mind. And so, whoa, come here, you. Yeah. So the star, again, is sort of like a bridge or a funnel towards this more practical and very cognizant mindset that is associated with the King of Pentacles. What else with the star? It is a major arcana, so there might be this influence from the universe, powers that be, God, spirit, whatever you believe in or don't believe in, but there is possibly this aspect of sort of like, not following... I'm not feeling it strongly that this is like your destiny. Like your destiny is not necessarily to be like your own personal accountant. Or, okay, it could be if you're being introduced to someone, that could be part of your destiny, or that could be part of something that needs to happen in order to open up other doors, or introduce you to further opportunities, is to work with a financial advisor, is to move from this particular branch in your company to another branch, or something like that. That could be the destiny part, or the path part. If it's just you doing this by yourself, Pisces, you're not necessarily working closely with anyone else to, you know, mediate these problems, or to amend the situations that are bothersome to you. It might be, you know, like I think I said, like a wake up call to you, like a splash of cold water on your face. Like that could be the quote unquote impact or the influence of the powers that be. Because again, the whole destiny thing, I usually will associate it more so with what source wants, what the universe wants, what God wants, whatever, right? I think that plays a little bit more if you are dealing with outside sources, if you're dealing with outside people. If this is an internal situation, you're just doing things, you know, you're Mr. or Ms. Fix-It in your own life, maybe a little less destiny, but I don't know. I hope you get what I'm saying here. Either way, it's still positive for you. Either way, I think you're doing the right thing, so to speak, and you will, you know, you're kind of in a good spot to really see the changes you want, and the repair to your life in the areas that need repairing. I think that's going to kind of pick up steam in February, right? It's going to begin to take shape. Thank you. It's going to begin to take shape. Now, what else is happening here? My throat is dry, or my mouth is dry, I should say, so. Excuse me. Yeah. In the case of like those who have dependents, children, you know, roommates, husbands or wives, whatever, people that depend on you or that you're in partnership in some type of way, you definitely, not to say you weren't before, but I think more now than ever, Pisces, you're very aware of these people, and the pressure is on, but from an internal space. Like, you're putting pressure on yourself to do the right thing, to get things in order, because you know people depend on you. Yeah. So you're pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, strength card, right? Major arcana for Leo. So you might have a Leo of significance in your life, but you know, you don't have to. It's a general. So you're really getting tough on yourself, getting tough in the situation, becoming really resourceful, becoming really resolute. A lot of you are like not taking no for an answer. A lot of you are just, you know, and again, I love Pisces. I adore you guys. And this is not a knock, this is not shade, but often Pisces is not much of a fighter, okay? And not in the ways that we use that term, oh, I'm a fighter. You know, when you're a fighter, you're very tenacious, you're very brash, or you're very like in other people's face, you're very like present, you're very boisterous or like noticeable. Pisces are fighters in a very deep, subterranean, almost subconscious way, where their strength isn't as on the surface as, say, again, not saying you're dealing with a Leo, but a Leo as represented by the strength card, like their strength is usually up for display. You can see it easily. It's not hidden, right? So again, that type of fighter is not usually what Pisces is about, but I feel you're kind of doing that. So whereas before, maybe you were kind of more complacent, maybe you were seen as somebody who could be sort of influenced or kind of taken for granted, or in some cases, in the workplace, I feel as though like steamrolled or like, you know, wrapped into something that you didn't agree to. Like, this happens in a lot of people's jobs, and I don't know how it does, but a lot of people, not just Pisces, okay, not just you guys, but a lot of people end up like going to work and being assigned to tasks that are not a part of their job description. And I'll be damned, personally, if it was me, that I'm going to be assigned to do anything that's not a part of my job description. Like, whenever I get a job, I'm like, what do I do? Who do I work for? Okay, that's it. And those are my parameters. And the moment you ask me to do something that's outside of my purview, outside of my job description, you can forget it. And I'm sensing that the opposite is what some of you Pisces, again, not all, were doing. Oh, well, that's not really, I'm not in charge of that, or that's the other people's department, but okay, I'll help you. You know, because you don't want to make waves, some of you, or, you know, if you show that you're kind of a get along person and you want to, you know, do well for the entire team or the entire company, then that might look good for you in the future. And that has its merits. That is possibly true. But I think that particular situation has gotten to a point where, again, you were taken for granted, Pisces, or it was assumed that you would just always do this work or be assigned to these tasks and not push back and not say, listen, this is outside of my description. You need to go find somebody from your department or that department to take care of it and leave me the hell alone, right? I feel there's that fighter thing, again, that we typically assign to, when we say a fighter, typically we mean somebody who's out there displaying it. that you can't take them for granted. They're not a schmuck, essentially, right? That is coming to the surface for you. And it's shocking to people, but I think it's necessary. I think that these two, the Strength card and the King of Pentacles being anchored back in the Star card, somehow you becoming a little more bristly, a little more, bite back, helps mend something. I don't know what specifically I'm talking about, but they just keep showing me like a bandage, similar. I mean, the Star card is a healing card. And then again, with the Strength card, we see this woman tending to the injured paw of the lion, right? So they keep showing me like a bandage being put on a wound, or they keep showing me, what they're also showing me is like a Rocky scene and like a bloody face, but at the end of Rocky, he wins. Adrian, you know what I mean? So after you take a beating, after you've been used and abused or taken for granted, or you've suffered in a situation, you may have lost something. Like I said earlier, when I was talking about the King of Pentacles, you may have lost something financially. Maybe people around you drained you of money, your friends, your family, whoever. Maybe some of you trusted a financial advisor or a personal accountant, and they ran you dry. Whatever it is, now you're coming back fighting, and you have something to fight for. Your integrity, your own security. Those are the two ones. The security that I lost, or that was, almost lost because this person or that situation almost tapped me out. And the integrity. I'm not a fucking sucker. Boom. There you go. Go ahead, Pisces. Get it. I'm not a sucker. And when people want to take me as a sucker, you got to get a little rowdy with them. It's not what you want to do. Pisces is much more peace-loving than that most of the time. But there's this aspect of, now that your back is against the wall, or now that someone has put you in a corner, nobody puts baby in a corner, okay? But now that, the circumstances or a particular person or sect, group, there you go, or a particular group of people have put you in a situation where you have no choice but to get a little feisty, to get a little bristly, and to assert yourself, right? So that in tandem with, you have people depending on you, or you have certain aspects of yourself that are depending on you. This is now going to take a little bit of an esoteric turn, because one, you have in this corner, you have a Page of Cups. Again, I told you at the top, some of you might have children, and I don't mention kids a lot, but they've been coming up lately in my life, and that's okay. So Page of Cups. Water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So this could be you. It could be you if this is like the esoteric turn, or it could be a child of yours, but they don't have to be a water sign. This is a very sensitive energy. It's a very heartfelt energy. It's very, I hate using words like this, like precious and innocent. And I hate using words like this, even if it is pertaining to children, because I just don't like to use language like that, period. I'm an Aquarius moon, deal with it. Now, but what I'm sensing is like really like a big sense of vulnerability here. So it might, okay, thank you. For those where you were like tapped, or like people took advantage of you, you actually cared about these people, family, friends, coworkers, it really doesn't matter. And there's a vulnerability here with this Page of Cups. Like, it doesn't please you to have to defend yourself in such a way, or again, stand up for yourself, stand in your dignity, stand in your integrity, and say, no, I'm not going to allow you to do this to me, or I'm not going to allow you to take this from me. And it kind of hurts. I've said this before. Thank you. That reminded me. I've said this before for Pisces in a recent reading, where it hurts Pisces to have to hurt another person, especially when Pisces was hurt first. It's like this weird cyclical thing of, everybody's hurt here. I don't want to hurt anybody, but here I go. And it's like Pisces really doesn't want to do that. But in order to protect yourself, if this is about you or your children, same difference, I got to do what I got to do to protect this little one here. The Page of Cups is not offensive, is not a burden, is not dangerous, is not... It's just like a very loving energy from the Page of Cups, whether it be your own inner child or something like that, or again, your integrity, the way you hold yourself, the way that you make yourself available to other people. And then sometimes people take advantage of that and step over the line and expect it of you all the time. Or if we're talking about one of your own children, there's nothing that the Page of Cups is bringing to this reading that makes me think that they, quote unquote, deserve to be treated this way. There's nothing that they're doing in defense of themselves or you in defense of them that would make me say, oh, that's too far, Page of Cups. You didn't have to say that. You didn't have to do that. No. Again, what did I say? Nobody puts baby in a corner. Look where the damn baby is. Look where the Page of Cups is, in the corner. So there's this aspect of defending the Page of Cups. You, your children, your child, whoever it is. And, you know, it's also, I mean, look at this card. It kind of looks a little sad, because at the end of the day, I feel as though Pisces, you would probably prefer for none of this to have happened at all. Why couldn't we just had like things remain nice and copacetic and chill? You know, I didn't want to make waves. Look at, I don't want to make waves. I just want to stand on the beach and drink my Merlot. I have not had any wine. I don't, especially not Merlot. No. But anyway, so there's this aspect of being apologetic about having to be defensive of this energy. In the case of like some of you who have children, this could be having to protect your child from a family member or a friend of the family, not like in a seedy type of way, but let's say your child is not like a small child, your child is like an adult, and maybe you had to step in and like bail your kid out of a bad situation. There's this aspect of the page then being apologetic to you. Like, I'm sorry, mom or dad, that you had to sweep in here and save me from this. Sweep in. Like with that plane right above the page's head, sweep in, swoop in, fly in and save me. Some of you have literally had to fly in and save your kid from something, bail them out of jail. Well, you don't have to do that. You could do like wire transfers at this point, but you might have had to travel somewhere to step in and protect this energy, okay? Again, whether it's a small child or an adult child or whatever age this person is, I feel some of you are doing that. And still, whether it's you personally as the protector of yourself as the Page of Cups, or you're, again, protecting or stepping in to help someone external from you, there is this apologetic energy from the Page of Cups. I'm sorry that I was in this mess in the first place. I'm sorry that I got involved with these people. I'm sorry that I made myself readily available to this person who essentially bled me dry of my finances or took advantage of my time, money, and effort. You know, whatever it is. So, a wonderful wall of protection, because again, you're in all of these cards to some degree, okay, that we've discussed already. King of Pentacles, the Star, and the Strength card, and a little bit of the Page of Cups too. So you're present all over here, Pisces. That's very good. You're protecting baby in a corner. Perfect. Now, what else happens? Yeah. So you get back to work. I mean, not get back to work, but there's this, I mean, temporally, it feels like these two could be a little after the fact of the 4 cards that we just spoke about. But in some of your cases, these two are actually your present moment now, and this is more of a past energy. There's you know, obviously going to be differences in the timelines here. But at some point, we get back to work, or we're currently focused on, you know, reviving the plan at hand, or going back to the drawing board and starting on something new. But with the 3 of Pentacles, this is work being put in partnership. Nothing here is giving me the third-party situation kind of thing. If it applies to your situation, go ahead and apply it, but I really am not feeling it. If it comes up, I'll address it, but I'm really not feeling it at all, which is very typical for things on my channel anyway. But here, I think, Pisces, some of you are going back to like school, technical school. You might be writing a business proposal, something like that, where you are laying the groundwork for your future endeavors, which again is kind of what I was talking about with the King of Pentacles. This is possibly brainstorming. This is possibly, again, in tandem with an advisor of some sort, a mentor or something like that. And then now we're actually drafting up the documents. We're submitting applications. We're searching for the right people to work with, whatever it is. And it's a stepping stone. It's a cornerstone, a stepping stone, a cornerstone, just the beginning of it, really. It's beginning to take shape with the Three of Pentacles. Now, in this deck, I mean, other decks, they show three people too, but in this deck, I think it's a little more clear. You see how each person has a particular role or a particular action that they're doing? Oh, come on. There you go. So you've got the one woman in pants. She's like putting the pentacle on the wall. So she's kind of like the carpenter, the one who has sort of like the technical, specialized knowledge, right? And then you have the woman in the red dress. She's kind of like the artistic person. She's like got the big picture. She might, you know, be the one who's like sketching up the drafts, or you know, she might be in charge of like marketing and PR and all that kind of stuff. And then you got the guy with the newspaper, and he's like the financer, or he's like the financial backer of the situation. Or, you know, maybe he's just married to one of those women, or he's just hanging out reading the newspaper. Who the fuck knows? But there's this aspect of everybody brings to the table a particular skill set, a particular knowledge set, right? Pisces, you are not fucking around. I don't know why I have to say it this way, because I think, there may have been doubt from you. Yeah, a lot of you have doubted yourselves. You have shortchanged yourself. You have lost some of your confidence. This is you getting back on that train of, I can do it, I'm capable, I'm smart, I have the resources, I have what I need, you know, I'm in partnership with the right people now, and you're building up that self-confidence again. So that could be, you know, why I'm like, you know, you're back on track here, and I'm like excited for you, because again, it feels as though you've been working with or working in situations that don't serve you. You've taken certain losses that have really set you, you know, several steps back. And now you return with this determined fire, this fixation on success, this fixation on gaining, this fixation on prospering and building up a solid foundation, or restoring the security that you had in your life in terms of finances or health, or whatever the hell we're talking about. This Three of Pentacles says, okay, I'm going to try and do the bulk of this myself. Most Pisces do. You try to do the bulk of this work by yourself. However, where you need others to help you, you will not be afraid to ask them. Maybe before you got yourself roped into certain things because you didn't speak up for yourself, or you weren't inquisitive about, well, I've been assigned, you know, 3 or 4 different tasks at my job. I guess this is normal. I'm assuming everybody else who works here, this is how many, you know, different hats that they're wearing at the same time. And then eventually you found out, oh no, you're the only person that's been doing work for that department, this department, and the other. Everybody else works for their own freaking department, their own supervisor. They don't overextend themselves, right? So now in the Three of Pentacles, you're making it abundantly clear. Here are the terms and the boundaries with which I am prepared to work in, right? So if you take on a new job, you are going to memorize or you're going to save in a PDF or whatever it is, the job description that you've been hired into. You will not put yourself out there to be taken advantage of. You're going to, and this again is like, in my experience, a lot of not all, but a lot of Pisces are like this. Instead of asking for help, instead of saying that you think you can't, and then you immediately regret. You're like, okay, I'll do it. And then on the inside, you're like, shit, I shouldn't have agreed to this. Right here is like, no, I agreed to do it, but I'm going to need Steve's help. I'm going to need Barbara's help. I'm going to need Jonathan's help. I'm going to need all these other people. It's like being very open to partnership, specifically towards your career goal or personal finance goal, or a goal with your health and wellness. Maybe before you didn't, in terms of health and wellness, just to kind of change it up a little bit to give more examples. Maybe before you've but you seldomly saw your doctor. And maybe, you know, the start of 2020, you went and you saw your doctor, and he's like, okay, I want your cholesterol down. I want you to get, you know, leafy greens up. I want fiber up in your diet. I want this out of your diet, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And before, not only did you never listen to that advice, you never followed up. But now your doctor suggested, okay, so what is going to help you get these goals? And you're like, I don't know. Okay, well, I think you should go see a nutritionist, or I think you should get in touch with this type of specialist. I also have a guy who does, you know, personal training if you're interested, and da-da-da-da-da. And maybe now you're in a particular phase in your life. You have the means, you have the money, you have the time to properly invest in working and restructuring your health, or restructuring the focus around your health goals. You know, maybe you need to quit smoking, maybe you need to quit overeating, or whatever it is, and you've never taken a serious stab at it. This Three of Pentacles is the beginning of big endeavors in whatever facet we're talking about for you, Pisces, okay? So you get into partnership with the fitness guy. You go down and you see the nutritionist. You go over and maybe you start, you know, doing yoga. You know, sign up for some yoga classes. Before you were just like a runner, or you love high intensity cardio or something like that. And your doctor's like, don't even worry about that. I want you to build your core strength. I think you should do this, or this is what the fitness, whatever. You're open to relying on other people around you who are experts or have knowledge that you do not have. You know some things on your own, Pisces, but I need to know what other people know, and we need to merge our two skill sets together, okay? Here we go. Now, this could also still be another child around you, just for the sake of, you know, most people have more than one kid, I'm going to assume. So this could also still signal back to someone that needs your protection, or someone that you particularly feel you may have let down, or not been really, haven't made the best decisions regarding, right? But more so, I feel that this page is speaking to what I was just talking about, which is that reinvigorated, refocused energy. The Page of Wands is typically very enthusiastic, very I'm so thirsty. Very future oriented, looking at, you know, sort of like the map of the world, or the map of the country, the map of wherever, and plotting their course and saying, okay, I want to go here, and then I can go, you know, to the northeast, and then I'll hit this landmark, and then I can travel south and hit this. It's like this explorative, thank you. There's this explorative element of the Page of Wands, like, you know, sky's the limit. The possibilities are endless when we encounter the Page of Wands, and I think that's what you're going to come and realize, Pisces. Now, in terms of job, if you're transitioning, going into a different industry, getting a promotion, you know, working for yourself, you know, striking out on your own, that is kind of very much close to your heart, that, you know, endless possibilities, like, you know, looking out and seeing the different pathways you can go in the game of life, so to speak, or on your life path. I think you're seeing more opportunities, more avenues down which to travel, and that excites you, Pisces. In some of your cases, it kind of scares the shit out of you, but, you know, Pisces kind of likes that. Pisces is kinky that way. Like, oh, I'm so scared, let's do it, you know. So Pisces can be thrill-seeking in that way. Like, ooh, this gives me, like, you know, it gives me like a little tingle in my tummy. I can't wait to do this, right? So that's what this feels like. It feels like you're excited about what is to come in the future. And the thing about the Page of Wands is, not only is in an excited energy about the future, it's also pretty determined. It's also pretty determined to enjoy the ride. Which, remember I told you in the beginning, the King of Pentacles was a little out of the ordinary for Pisces. Like, he's so fixated on the practical and the facts and the figures, and he's very, like, you know, confined, so to speak. This Page of Wands, lesser than a king, right? A page is lesser than a king in terms of the court card hierarchy, right? But I feel that this is a slow turn back, and it's not the Page of Cups. You're like, well, I'm a water sign. No. The carefree thing that I was mentioning earlier about Pisces, Page of Wands is very carefree in a lot of ways, right? That sky's the limit mindset, that looking out and seeing all the different things you can get into and being, ooh, so intrigued and like so giddy about the possibilities. That is that return a little bit to what you naturally have inside of you, which is this very unbridled energy, free-spirited, right? The Page of Wands is pretty damn free-spirited. So you, through the path that we have discussed this entire time, you eventually get back to this point of feeling more inspired, more goal-oriented, or still goal-oriented, but then also kind of bright-eyed with it, you know? it's a wonderful combination. I look forward to you guys experiencing that whenever you experience it, because I think it's going to really sort of be like, you know, icing on the cake, or like a nice piece of, you know, a nice piece of candy, like, you know, ooh, you know, it's like a sweet treat or something. I really feel I really feel you're going to enjoy that. And if it's not you, you might be meeting someone, because again, it comes right above the Three of Pentacles, so that could be someone that you meet who embodies that energy or brings that to the table while you're still kicking around in your King of Pentacles energy, which is nothing, you know, nothing to shake a stick at. There's nothing wrong with being like the King of Pentacles. Absolutely not. But this Page of Wands might be a creative partner for you. You might have the business logistical side down, but this might be some, you know, up and coming artist that you want to work with, or someone who has, you know, an eye for design or something like that. Okay. Outcome. Holy, well, what are we going to do with this, Jay? Well, I don't know. Okay, so, because I'm like, that's kind of shitty after everything I just said about the Page of Wands. Come on and focus, you jerk. There you go, that's better. Five of Cups is your outcome, Pisces. Now, if you're familiar with tarot, you're kind of like, oh no, and I get it. But what I'm actually seeing is, there's a tendency, yeah, okay, in some Pisces, not all of you, to kind of remember the past and be wearisome about it. You know, as much as I think I mentioned it here when we were talking about the Page of Cups, this energy of being apologetic for having to have stood up for yourself. Here I feel there's like lamenting the loss, lamenting the drama, lamenting, in some of your cases, as much as you may have disliked your former job or some of the people that you used to work with, there were also people there that you did like to work with. There were also aspects of the job that you did enjoy, right? And so when we talk about the Five of Cups in tarot in general, we're talking about somebody who is crying over spilled milk, or in this case, crying over spilled wine glasses on the bar. Now, next to this person, those 3 wine glasses are spilled over, but the barmaid is holding 2 glasses straight up. So that is also what we talk about when we get into the Five of Cups. Not seeing the silver lining, not seeing and being able to fully appreciate what is left over. So sure, you might leave a job that you were working for a while and you had good rapport with some of your coworkers. It was just that your boss was a dick and he or she, like, you know, overworked you and took advantage of you, but you really enjoyed working with everybody else there. Okay, you can, like, be Facebook friends with those people, right? Like, get their Instagram handles before you leave. Like, you can maintain friendships outside of a workplace, right? Essentially, I believe so. Especially now that you don't work there. There's no, like, fraternization policy that you're in violation of if you go hang out with, like, the former manager of, you know, whatever. Yeah? So there's something that you might be sad about or melancholy about, but really you don't have to be. Especially if, in the specific case of leaving one job for another, you are leaving a place where you weren't appreciated, or you were overworked, or you were leaving a place that wasn't supporting you financially or wasn't giving you what you needed financially to support yourself. Listen, I love working here, but this, you know, $40K a year ain't kicking. I need more money than this. You know, I got a small child to take care of, you know? So you being smart and practical and looking at or trying to look at the long-term goals and what you needed in the long run to sustain yourself, some of you are going to be like, oh man, I didn't want to make this big of a mess. I didn't want to make a big stink out of it. I didn't want people to be mad at me, or, you know, oh, I'm going to miss my good friend. I'm going to miss this. I'm going to miss that. Remember, there's 2 cups still remaining out of the 5 that this card is indicating. There's still 2 that remain. So there's this aspect of Pisces possibly having a moment or 2 of regret. Could be anxiety, associated with anxiety. You know, whenever we make changes, 5s are about changes and challenges and conflicts, right? So, you know, when you make these changes, these lifestyle changes in some of your cases, If it's giving up certain foods in your diet, like cutting sugar, God help you. It's so difficult. I haven't even fully attempted it. The partial attempt that I do, it's hard, right? So if you're doing that, there is like possibly even chemically some type of withdrawal you have to go through, because your body like is literally craving those sugar hits, right? I want a piece of candy. Oh my God. Well, smoothies are healthy, aren't they? It's not the worst thing, but it's not great either. So you're like really struggling to let go of something that ultimately wasn't serving you anyway. And there could, again, could be anxiety associated with that, some type of withdrawal if it is like sugar and diet. If it's heavier than that, I did say quit smoking. That could also be what's going on here. So something like that. So there will be a bit of a struggle, but I think that's natural to human beings in general. But in my experience, Pisces definitely end up reflecting back more often than I've seen other signs do it. I'm going to say that. You guys reflect back way more often than other signs. And that's not a bad thing. It's just what you do. Okay? Overall energy, Pisces. 9 of Swords. So, I mean, what has this whole story been about? You have been stressed. You have been up worrying yourself or feeling tormented by the experiences that have transpired in your life. I'd say over the past few months, if not like maybe a few years. Yeah. I feel as though you've been wanting to get off of this roller coaster ride or this merry-go-round, whatever you've been stuck in. And this 9 of Swords is signaling that that has been plaguing you. How do I get myself out of this trap? Or how do I get myself out of this financial hole? You know, you saw your doctor. They gave you a diagnosis. Dude, you're like 2 steps away from being diabetic, or you are 2 steps away from having a cardiac issue. You got to lose the weight. You got to quit the smoking. And that may have sent you into a certain tailspin, or a certain, you know, again, anxiety or panic. Like, oh my God, I thought I was healthy, you know, and that's the other thing, like, you know, just to throw it out here and you know, this is the way some people think, not saying you did, but let's say you are fairly fit, but your diet wasn't that great. You know, you're not overweight really, but you know, someone said, you know, you're pre-diabetic, and you're like, huh? How, what? Like, isn't that something for like people that are looking a way that I don't look? Like, there's a shock to the system. I don't know who that's for. I don't know if that resonates with anybody, but like, that's kind of what it feels like, where this 9 of Swords came in and knocked you off your game in a way that, in a prolonged way, thank you, in a prolonged way, Pisces, like you have been sort of struggling to get this out of your system. But again, this is the overall energy. So I think that is what we have been addressing this entire time. How do I get myself out of this mental, this mental trap, or this overwhelmed sense of anxiety and worry? We've discussed it, you know, rewind it back and watch it again if you want, but don't worry too much about that 9 of Swords, because it's just telling us what were we addressing here today. The 9 of Swords is what we were addressing, okay? Pisces, that's it, friends. That is your February 2020 reading. If you liked it, the like button is down below. Go ahead and hit that for me. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated in your life. That would be amazing. Also would be amazing if you shared and subscribed to the channel. I would love to see all that. Pisces, very soon you will see me come back with your mid-February readings. You will see me come back with no communication readings in February, and you will see your birthday message come out at the first day of Pisces season, which I believe is the 18th of February. So you got all those things to look forward to. If you want to be up on top of all of that stuff, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, friend. Again, if you want to purchase a reading with me, all that information is down in the description box below. Pisces, I thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I truly do appreciate it. Take care. Bye.